one thing at a time. What is up, people?
Hello.
Welcome back to the world while
like
we sit here and do nothing.
We started that so quietly, but little do they know we had a full-on crazy conversation beforehand.
So the question was, if you had one, what was it? Say it again.
One like breakfast item for the rest of your life. You could only choose like one plate.
What constitutes an item? Like, can you get the fucking family meal from Denny's, or like what is an item?
So like, I don't know, maybe a plate with like 3 things or less on it.
3 things or less. Liv, what did you say?
Avocado toast.
Bravocado toast.
So like mine would be maybe like an everything bagel with some Taylor ham, some egg, some bacon, and some honey, and probably some hot sauce in there.
You're like really, really hurting my life right now, because I want to say 2 eggs because that's what I eat every day.
But then like a side of hash brown.
All right, let me ask.
But not like the shit that's like cut up and chopped up, like a McDonald's like oval hash brown. It could come from Trader Joe's, but it's got to be that oval shape and like crispiness.
Why not just tots?
You could do that,
okay.
But it's not. It's not the same.
It hits different.
It does, but it doesn't have that same like breakfast feel to it.
Well, let me ask you this caveat, because this changes my opinion. Do I get to eat whatever the fuck I want for lunch and dinner every day?
We haven't gotten there, so like that's next week. You know,
literally, I'm gonna have to pick one fucking meal every day. Well, like I'm sticking with my 2 eggs, bro. 2 eggs. A little bit of hot sauce. I'm about it.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I could do that.
I don't eat a lot in the morning. I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, but like there's something just amazing about the breakfast sandwich, Taylor ham, and everything bagel. Come on, dude. If you eat anything other than an everything bagel, I think there's something wrong with you.
I think, honestly, if I had to pick like 3 meals to have for the rest of my life, I'd probably be able to do it, and I'd probably break it down into the way that I'd change my entire diet.
Now, like, okay.
Like, I wouldn't have 2 eggs in the morning. I'd have something totally different.
Here's something different. If you skip lunch, can you have 2 dinner?
Dinner and dinner. Anyway. All right, moving on to something more productive in the world. We were talking about Maryland real estate market on the podcast, or on the
how you can
TV
buy a house,
show.
get yourself a griddle, and start making yourself a very nice breakfast. That's what we were talking about.
We're gonna bleep Christian out today.
You know what? We could build you a patio out there with a built-in like griddle, stove, grill with some stone, and then the equity of your house would go up. I'm just saying, it relates.
One thing I will say, it was a massive movement. It was like what do you call it? Like the trend, if you will, to do outdoor dining spaces, outdoor living spaces, outdoor everything through COVID.
Yeah.
And just like everything else on the face of this fucking planet, nobody uses their rooftop deck. It's a Baltimore joke if you don't get it. All right, short version. Everybody comes to Baltimore and they're like, I want a 3-bedroom and 3-bathroom house with parking and a rooftop deck.
You use it,
and then they never use the rooftop deck. And you know what else they don't do? They don't fucking maintain it.
Yeah, that's a big one.
So forget usability. You go out on that deck and there's like 17 floorboards that are like this. Neat.
When I rented in Federal Hill, that's what ours was like. And it was like painted over, coated over in red paint like 8 times.
Right.
You know, it just looked like shit.
As a landlord, I want to have as little to maintain as possible. My property's not worth more money with that rooftop deck. Sorry, it's just not. Maybe $50, maybe $100 more a month, but that's not worth a rooftop deck. And so I find that people want these things because they just like want the griddle.
Well, it's like the sexiness of it.
Yeah.
That's kind of like the little snippet that we put that you recorded on phone. It's like this person wants to buy a house, he's in the perfect position, and then they're like, I don't know, being so picky about it, but I think they're just like indulging of the sexiness of like thinking they're buying a house. And
I have a client right now that I said to Amanda yesterday, I'm not sure if they'll ever buy, and I'll be so thankful if they buy with us. It will be a pride thing if they buy with us, but I'm not sure if they'll ever buy. And she was like, why? I said, it's not that I don't think that we have the skill or the ability. The market's not going to support it, or they're not qualified. These people are so well qualified, they're looking almost under 2/3 of their maximum capacity, right? But they're of an age where they've rented their entire lives. They just want to buy to have something a little bit nicer. They're not really looking for anything specific. They're very happy with their current rental. They're not motivated to fulfill that like American dream the way that other people are. And I feel I will be very, very proud to have represented them because I know the work that's gone into it, but I'm just not like holding out hope. This is why, Sandra, this is why I don't talk about my pipeline, because I don't care about the pipeline. I care about who's buying a house today.
Okay, here's a question. For someone that says they want to buy a house today, but when you go to tour a property, they're pointing out every little thing that's negative or that they don't like, and like giving every, I don't want to call it excuse, but reason in the book. How do you deal with that person?
You want to know what I did last week?
You're like, so why are we here?
I did do that, but that was later. All right, so I had a buyer, and I love this buyer, so I'm not going to throw them under the bus because this is going to sound kind of mean. I love this person. I was at their wedding. She's an amazing friend, such a good like support for my business. And over the years that we've known each other, she's always been willing to send people left and right. But then she was looking to buy a house and she wasn't using me. And I was like, hey, what's up? We talked about it. We went back and forth. We, had a lot of questions, a lot of overcoming objections, and we finally they decided to use me, and I'm very thankful for that. So then we go out and see a couple properties, and we see the first property, and they bring their contractor friend. And this contractor friend was like, yeah, I mean, nice house, recessed lights. I like, yeah, okay, yeah. I mean, yeah, a couple things you have to think about, and cool.
I bet, yeah.
Then we went to the second property. And the second property needed work. Like, we're talking $175,000 less than list price, and it needed every penny of $100,000 of work, maybe $200,000 worth of work. But now contractor Joe is sitting in the property and literally sitting on the floor, and he's like, and then eventually he says to the buyers, I would never pay this price. I would pay, insert $75,000 less, that price, because you're going to put $200,000 worth of work into this property. And if you put $200,000 worth of work into it, then you want to get paid back for your time and your energy. And this property is not worth this. And so then this minus the 200,000 equals the value that you have to pay plus a little bit of equity earned.
I would have pulled out my wallet and got out my real estate license. I was like,
I thought you were just about to say I would have pulled out and slapped him with it.
Okay, what
Jesus.
the fuck? I said my wallet and then,
yeah. Anyway, so
okay.
So well, the moral of the story
I don't know what you do with your contract.
Last week,
is that how you get good deal?
Last week, we were going to another property that also needed a lot of work. And upon pulling up to the property, she says to me, this needs so much work. The number that's being thrown around is 300,000. And I'm like,
brainwashed by her contractor.
What I said was, Alex, then go home. I wasn't even there yet. Go home. And she was like, kind of offended by it. And then when we finally got there, I said, look, do you want to know what really, really made me upset? She said, sure. I said, are you sure? 150%. She's like, 150%. I said, this is going to hurt. I'm not going to be nice about it. It's going to hurt. And she's like, okay, lay it on me. And I said, look, I was embarrassed the way that contractor talked to you last week. Embarrassed. Because A, if he is that good of a friend, he should be helping you through it. And he should be proud to invest $200,000 of his time and energy into your property. B, if he's that good of a contractor, then he should be confident in talking to me as a real estate professional. Hey, it's going to take me $200,000 to buy this property. What do you think the property will be worth afterwards? Damn, Mike, don't you think that they're asking a little bit high and I can explain the highs and the lows of the price? But for him to come in there and be demonstrative and encourage you not to buy it, he talked you out of the best thing that could have ever happened to you. So when my buyers walk into a property and they start negging out the property, like, oh, ew, the first thing I'm going to do is be like, hey, we can fix that. These are easy to install. No problem. But if they just keep going neg all the time, I'm going to be like, all right, well, why are we here?
Yeah.
Right? Like, let's just leave. And if anybody knows anything about me when we're touring houses, the first day we're going to go out and tour houses, I'm going to tell them the same thing every single time. It's always, there are rules to touring real estate. And the first rule is, if you pull up to a property, if you walk in the door, if you smell a smell or you see something that's just appalling, you can't back up to that trailer park, or you would never live next door to a cemetery, or you couldn't imagine staring at that ugly church every day when you walk out of your house. Just don't go in. And the rule continues to say, by the way, don't tell me like, well, we're already here, so we might as well look at it. Right? Like, just don't go in. You don't have any purpose to looking at the property.
How do you bring up that conversation?
I don't. I just tell them.
So
hey,
okay, me and you, like you're standing there with the key in your hand. I'm walking in the door.
Sometimes,
or like I'm walking I'm walking up to the door. I guess.
Sometimes it might be one of these things, right? It might be one of these where, like, you know, you get out of the car, you shut the door, and you go, oof. And you know, like right then, like they just got out of the car, you saw the wind out of their sails, and they're like, ugh. Or it might be the one. This is another good one. So I'm sitting at a property waiting for a buyer, and I'm just sitting there like this. I'm in my car. I text them, I'm in my car waiting, right? You know they're late because I'm always late. So
comes around, goes around.
So I'm sitting there texting. Car pulls up. You know, you see it out of the peripheral, but you don't know who it is. And you're like, window goes down.
And then you're like, oh shit, getting
it? Mm-mm. You go, what? They go, mm-mm. We're not looking at this house. You don't like the neighborhood? No. All right, on to the next one. The next one is this address. Let's go. There's no reason to like waste our time.
Yeah.
But sometimes what people do is they're like, I don't like the neighborhood, or I don't like that thing, or I don't like this thing. And then they still go look at the house because they're like, but we're here. Well, we're here.
Yeah.
So what do? You just tell them no.
Hey, we're fucking leaving. Get in the car. We're leaving.
We're leaving. Sometimes I have done that a couple times. I would probably do that with Liv and Chris. We'd be like looking at a house and Liv would be like this. And Chris would be like, look at this door. And I'd be like, Christopher, let's go. And he'd be like, why? I'd be like, your wife doesn't like it.
I guess.
And he would look at her and be like, really? And she'd be like,
she would have a look on her face the entire time.
I don't like this, but it's so true, and it's happened so many times. Sometimes it's that kind of a scenario. Other times it might be like a, oh, you guys told me that you need to have a level walk so you can get up because you have back problems, hip problems, knee problems, whatever. You can't take up these 7 steps. I didn't know why we didn't think about that until we got here. Or it might just be like, oh, I didn't realize it's so far away or so close to this or so. My best friend lives down the street. Oh, my ex lives right here. Okay. Now, it's a learning opportunity because it's like, hey, didn't you know that before we came?
Yeah.
Right? But they don't. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't.
I mean, like, I don't know. I feel like buyers, and like you have your agent as a resource, but I feel like a lot of buyers or whoever in the market don't do their own due diligence.
I think it comes with age. It comes with age, not age of life expectancy, but age of real estate life.
But I'm not talking agent, you know that, right? I'm talking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, when a buyer buys their first house, it's like so exciting.
Yeah.
They don't even think about it. Yeah. I had a buyer buy a house without a dishwasher, and I told him when we were walking through the house, and he still wanted to buy it, and I still represented them, and we still bought the house, and they love it. But now his wife is like, she's at the kitchen sink, and she's like, yeah, who buys a house without a dishwasher? We do. Like, with all the utensils in her hand and everything. It was really funny. But now they know, like, oh, I need a dishwasher.
Yeah.
And I know that that's a very dramatic thing, but it might be as simple as like, oh, I don't want to live on a main road, or I want to live in a neighborhood, or I want to live in this school district, or I want to live with a backyard, or I really would like a fence, or I really would like a garage, or they don't realize how important these things are until they buy something that doesn't have it.
Yeah.
Right. So it's that buyers are just juvenile real estate people.
Yeah.
And sometimes that might be because it's their first time buying a property. And other times it might be because they are haven't bought a property in 10 or 12 years. But anyway, you cut it, it's just not natural to them for one reason or another.
No, I can see that. I would agree.
And I think the biggest key is most people are moving in today's market for what?
Life change.
For life change. And if they don't have life change, they're not really serious.
Interesting.
That's just what I think. I think most people are moving in today's market for life change, right? You can use people even like myself. I'm not going through a life change. I'm not losing a limb or having a baby.
I mean, you're
kind
of going through life change. What the fuck?
Well, but my point is like, it's a life change. It's not like a major moment in your life when you're just deciding to have a garage, but you're like, man, I'm looking forward to my life. My future portrait, my family portrait looks like this. This is what I want. And that's what I'm searching for. Right?
Yeah.
It's not, oh, I want something new. It's a life change. Now, you went out with Wayne Carroll last week?
Well, I went to his house.
You went to his house, right? So someone like Wayne should be making that transition because he can rent his current property and make a huge profit. I mean, it's such a great house. He should be looking at that from a financial aspect.
Yeah.
But when you take somebody like that to a new house, he's like, all these outlets are going to have to be replaced. And you're like, dude, have you been in your kitchen? Right. All of your outlets need to be replaced.
Right.
And sometimes people just need to hear that.
Yeah. And also, he's one that would do all the work.
Right.
So it's like, you can do it. I'll buy you the fucking outlet.
Yeah. And then they're like, this house isn't worth it. It's not worth it. Well, how much are the outlets going to cost you? $14 for a pack of 10?
Yeah.
Right? Like $14 for a pack of 10. We need to take $7,000 off the price. We can do that, but
let's be realistic.
It's just crazy. Like the market is full of people that have aspirations and people that just want to make a transition. And I think that there's many, many, many sellers that just have aspirations and many, many, many buyers that are really focused on.
Yeah, you know what I thought about this week? Maybe, I don't know if I talked to you about it. Maybe I was talking to Amar about it, but I want to take a psychology class, like a psych class.
The psychosis of being a realtor.
Sure.
Okay.
But I feel like that would help me out tremendously.
I think,
or just help like in life, and then also like read a communication book or two.
I think that real estate is 100% psychology.
Like the way that you get people to write offers, and it's not like it's
nothing. It's literally
really nothing.
I'll use a better example. We're about to go under contract on a listing.
But then, like, it's nothing, and then I'm like sitting there with my client on the property, thinking of like, you ever seen the scene from Hangover where he's like doing the fucking card counting and stuff? That's what I'm doing. That's what's going on in my brain. Like, how the fuck did Mike Frank get that person to write an offer? How can I get my guy to write an offer right now? What am I doing?
It starts way, way, way long ago. So I'm going to use this seller because it starts way, way long ago. So I get introduced to the seller in like, let's just say 2021. And he wants to sell a house and buy a house. And he wants to buy something for $500,000 in Bel Air that has a pool. Well, there ain't shit in Bel Air that has a pool for $500,000. So let's go to $575,000. And also, by the way, you have a contingency of home sale and you don't want to sell your house before you find a new one. And there's other people that are buying in cash. So good luck and we'll talk to you never. Anyway, fast forward, keep in touch. Go to his house, do a couple different things, make a couple phone calls, say hello. Anyway, he's like, hey, dude, guess what? I said, what? He said, I got a new job. Bang. You going to buy a house? He's like, nah, I'm going to sell mine. Okay, cool. That was fucking middle of 2022. Now we're in 2023 and he's finally thinking about selling his house and he wants top dollar. I want 360. Well, his next door neighbor's house, the other end unit, so he's an end unit on this side, the end unit on that side, fully renovated, sold for $356. So I went, well, 360 is just not happening. He's like, well, 350. I was like, how about 340? He goes, no. I was like, all right, what do you want? He goes, 345 I'd be willing to take because I owe this much money on my mortgage and I'd be happy with this $100,000. Okay, well, let's sit down and talk about it. Cool. Ring, ring. Hey, so how much do you owe on your principal mortgage? And he's like, oh, this much. I'm like, all right, do you have a mortgage statement handy? He's like, yeah. I was like, okay, cool. Can you grab it for me? He said, sure. I said, how much do you owe on your mortgage statement? He's like, oh, damn. It's actually $2,000 more. Oh, okay, cool. So now you owe $2,000 more that you didn't think that you owed. Do you have a second mortgage, a home equity line of credit, or any other debt on the property? He goes, well, I do have a HELOC Okay, so let's deduct that from your expenses. So he's got this idea that he's worth 360. Now he's 350. Maybe he's 340, right? And he's got this HELOC. He's got this other thing. And I asked him about COVID forbearance. And oh, by the way, COVID forbearance is going to be a whole fucking conversation for another day.
Dude.
He's got a COVID forbearance as well. Anyway, so fast forward a little bit and I start talking to him about off-market property. And I tell him, here's why we're going to offer the property at this price. So let's just use the number 330. And the reason that we offered it at 330 is because we know that the property is not worth 350 and we believe that it's worth 340. But if we start at 345, buyers in today's market, psychology of buyers in today's market are that they're just not going to offer, because they're not going to offer at 340 because no one would accept an under listing price offer. We have to price it where the buyer is going to make an offer over listing price, right? So we start at 330. And then we go into the real estate market and we list it at 335 just to be a little bit more like, hey, I'm not giving up all my equity. Okay, cool. Well, lo and behold, what happens? We get two offers. And the two offers were both for 335 and 340. Now, remember way back when he wanted 360 and we talked him out of that and we went to 350 and I said, how about 340? And he was like, man, he's going to accept a $340,000 sale today. It's not because his house is worth 340 or because of some magical thing that I told him that his house is worth 340. It's that when he said 360, I was like, bet. And when he said 360 sounds good, I was like, yeah, it does. How about 10%? And he goes, no. Why not? Well, I'm not paying you 10%. You'd pay me 10% if I sold it for 360, wouldn't you? He's like, well, yeah, because he knew that he was unrealistic at that number. It's not the sale to get him there once he's in the door. It's already there before you walked in the door. It's crazy. I can't explain it, but psychology plays such a factor into what we do every day. It has absolutely nothing to do with market stats.
I feel like you just hit me with some Matrix shit right there. Like,
bro,
like
my brother's roommate is a economist, postdoctoral candidate. I don't really know what, like, maybe I'm making shit up.
What does that even mean?
Liv's like laughing at me.
I have no idea.
He's already a doctorate or he's already a double master's or something like that. He's going for a doctorate. I don't know. Some crazy fucking smart kid about economics, right?
Economy.
And then we somehow got started on the topic of statistics. And the thing is that you can literally make statistics look like anything you want. 100 out of 100 people say that they love Christian's beard. Well, great. What if you found 100 people that didn't like beards? Then it'd be 0 out of 100. It's really easy, right? So statistics are exactly what you want to make of it. And that's what's happening in today's real estate market. If you look at our blog today, you're going to notice that our blog is all about today's market by comparison to last year's market. Did you read it?
I put it together.
Did you read it?
I put it together.
He wrote it.
She stole my homework. What do you mean? Did I read it?
So I got away with
No, I literally read the email that she wrote. I don't know. Anyway, all right. So today's real estate market, if you look at today's Maryland real estate market, we are significantly less in units, in volume, in pending sales, in market closed and time on the market, and every negative statistic that you can have, except the one that fucking matters. What's the one that matters?
If I'm remembering correctly, isn't it like sale price?
Price. That's the only fucking one that matters. You know why? Because no matter how fucking rich you are, nobody's buying 11,843 houses. So the 11,843 houses that sold last June versus the 6,752 houses that sold this June, who fucking cares? One house, one buyer. All we give a shit is that the price is going up.
Yeah.
That's how we're growing equity appreciation, right? And so if we're paying attention to these statistics, we're already in the wrong place. So every buyer that says, oh, I don't know if I want to buy, I don't know if I want to do this, I don't know if I want to do that, they will. They're just focusing on the wrong thing. Antoine Long, he's been in our business for 3 years. Dude finally is under contract. Super excited for him and so thankful for him to have the patience to work with us through that time. But like, fuck. Statistics didn't scare him off.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's just like the statistics are, why are we in the house talking about statistics? Why are we not in the house talking about this house?
Yeah.
Bazinga.
Man,
Boom.
I'm just gonna have like one of those fanny packs that have like speakers built in and play this podcast when I'm walking through the property with my client.
Christian's gonna have like 2 fanny packs. People are gonna be like, "Do you have guns?" He's like, "No, I keep them hidden in my sleeve. I'm good." God fucking damn. Sometimes I wish that Jay would come over here and be on our podcast. He's so funny.
Dude, we should just ring him in.
Oh my God. We do need to do that, Liv. We talked about that last week.
He's coming to your wedding, right?
Yeah.
I don't know how long he'll stay, but we'll get him to hop on here.
We can hop him on here.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But sometimes I feel like if you're not having fun at what you do, you're not doing it at all. And that's, I think, another piece of the puzzle. I think there's a lot of people, a lot of buyers that like choose to continue down the road because they're just enjoying it.
I would argue, well, I mean, I think comfortability maybe as well.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people just in life in general.
Oh, I mean, I totally agree.
Like I feel like that's more than ever.
I will tell you, since we did those 2 podcasts and we weren't allowed to use real estate terms, my mind has been focusing on these ideas that are so simple, like communication and rapport and comfort and dream and family.
This is
portrait.
like you had like a psychedelic experience
It's
here,
fucking crazy.
and you had a
like
reset.
I keep thinking about it. I keep thinking about it all the time because we spend so much time like learning about fucking equity and learning about how to create value for our clients in our podcast pitch. I mean, look at what Alexandra talked about today on the webinar. She didn't talk about shit except I bring my clients value. I make sure to deliver them something simple. I make sure to give them just a little snippet in an email, not a 30-page CMA. I was like, fuck me.
Yeah.
She also goes to lunch with them. I was like, that must be really nice. My clients work. It might be a little different.
Yeah.
I did think about that. I was going to text her, but I chose not to.
Yeah.
Well, that webinar was from 2 years ago, so you text her, she'd be like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I took a screenshot.
Okay.
I love Alexandra. Alexandra's the one that sent us the sellers on Charles Street. Was that Charles Street? The condo that we just sold like 6 months ago. The one by the University of Baltimore. Charles Street. Right? Yeah, Charles Street. Calvert Street's the next one over. Charles Street. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, her pitch was all relatable.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's such a big thing in today's market is like, we need to just be relatable. Forget every fucking real estate term we've ever heard. We're just going to be relatable. I'm going to start talking about it with my clients.
That's like one thing that I've been trying to do a little bit more of. Like one of the email blasts I sent out the other week, which I kind of took credit and my parents did all the work. They redid their landscaping out front, and I was like, we did a family project. But
it was a family project. You just weren't there for it.
It was in my calendar.
It was in my calendar. You also bailed on Amanda doing family project at your house.
I just said it wasn't in my calendar, but like I was out of town for that, which was fair. But yeah, like I've been trying to create more just like relatability of some of the content that I'm putting out because I think a lot of it is just...
I don't even think it is that. To be honest with you, people will ask like, why use me, blah, 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 whatever. I genuinely feel like it's the relatability that makes it happen. It's not telling people that makes it happen. Here's the example. When I pull up to a showing and my clients were there at 3:30 and I couldn't get there until 3:42, it's because I was coming from another appointment, right? Hey guys, sorry, I was coming from another appointment. And they're like, oh yeah, appointment? You look like you're getting ready to go out on the boat. And I'm like, nah, I'm just trying to manifest boat day because I don't get enough of it. That's why I'm wearing my captain's hat today. And I'm just trying to give it that vibe. They understand manifestation. Now, if I'm going out on the boat or not, it doesn't actually matter. They understand manifestation. But if I was like, yeah, actually, I'm going out on the boat after I leave you, all they give a shit about is that I was 12 minutes late and I'm going out on a boat. I'm not really dedicated to their showing. But yet if I say like, oh, I'm manifesting boat day, which is some shit that I would do, and everybody knows that that's kind of who I am, it's just like who I am and it's relatable. If you go to the house and you're like, this house kind of sucks, And they're like, what? We love it. And you're like, what do you love about it? And they're like, we love the size of the bedrooms. And we love the fact that it has a half bath on this level. And we love the fact that it's covered in trees. And I went, you mean the tree that fell down from the storm yesterday that's leaning on the house? And they're like, yeah, but that's fixable. And you go, okay. It started out as like a negging you. And then they came back and were like, we love it. We're just relatable. We're just having conversation. I'm not selling them on it. I'm not encouraging them to buy it or not buy it. We're just being relatable. I feel like that's the thing that makes us wonderful. To all the real estate agents in Baltimore, there's a ton of fucking awesome ass agents. But I'm taking it back. The people that I love working with are the ones that go, I don't know what's going on right now. Let me go call my admin who knows every single thing about this transaction, and I'm going to get right back to you. And I go, thank you for not trying to bullshit me. I'll talk to you in 20 or 30 minutes. And then they call the admin, they call me back and they go, ooh, damn, we dropped the ball there. And I go, yeah, that sounds great. Awesome. So you guys are going to pay for that? And they go, sure. And I go, cool, thank you. And then I go back to my client and I go, hey, they're taking care of it. Well, is the, I don't know. It's going to be taken care of. So you don't have anything to worry about. And then the buyers are like, oh, that's amazing. Instead of having to like make notes of like, okay. It's like every time I go to meet with the financial advisor, I never understand a fucking thing that's happening. But yet she has my money. Yay. What if real estate was the same way? That's what it is, in my opinion. That's what everybody does. They just, you've come to the right place. We're going to see a 17% equity increase over the next 4 years. Damn, we only saw a 6% equity increase over the next 4 years. You should still trust us with your money. It's like real estate is the exact same thing. What if we were just relatable? Yeah. Hey, that looks like a cool project you're doing in the backyard. What's going on? Oh, we're putting in a pool. Have you already signed for that? Nah, we haven't. We just started laying it out. Well, let's talk about your long-term equity and let's figure out if this is going to be the best fit for you. They're like, wait, what? We want a pool. All right, back up. You guys are putting in a pool. They're like, yeah. And you're like, oh my God, that's amazing. So you guys are really going to stay here for a while. And they're like, wait, what? Well, I mean, if you're putting in a pool and you're investing all this money, I mean, you're not going to get that equity out in the next 2 or 3 years. You're probably planning on staying here for at least 5 or 7 until Jack gets out of high school, right? And they're like, oh, fuck, we didn't really think about that. Relatability, bro. Like, if we start talking about like equity versus like you guys are staying here. Staying here is relatable. Equity's fucking not. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just going to travel around with like a briefcase full of like fake money. Be like, here you go. That's relatable. Telling people that they have equity in their home is not. Yeah. Sorry, Charlie.
No, I would agree. I don't really know how to
Christian,
top anything
full of fucking information this morning. I've literally had 7 sips of coffee. This is all I've had.
Why does that?
I'm just like so energized. Get your caffeine
dude, I've had like
bro.
3 sips. A warm Celsius just ain't it. I don't understand how you don't keep them in the fridge.
I do keep them in the fridge.
Well,
there's one in the fridge right now.
It's unfortunate.
Jesus Christ.
And then your ice machine doesn't work.
It does not. You are correct. Speaking of ice
machines, when they buy this house, they're going to say that ice machine doesn't work. I want $7,000.
Appliances. No, I'm going to put in a new ice machine, a new refrigerator. It's going to come from the Best Buy outlet. It's going to cost me like $1,300 to $1,700. It's going to be delivered and it's going to look fucking awesome. Anyway, this was a lot of talk about nothing. Yep. We didn't talk about fucking market statistics at all.
My favorite part was breakfast.
My favorite part was breakfast. I still think that I would stick with my 2 eggs for the rest of my life. I'd be very happy with that.
No.
And 2 eggs never go wrong, bro.
Dude, it's just like...
There's no oil. There's no fats. There's no onions. There's nothing to go sour. No, perfect. 2 eggs.
You're taking in so many factors that don't matter. No relatability here, Mike. None.
I vibe with the Bravocado toast over there because it's like a fantastic treat.
Avocado goes fucking bad in the snap of a finger.
I know. That's why I don't want it to be my one thing.
But you're vibing with it.
I vibe with it. I also vibe with the acai bowl. None of this bullshit fake acai. I'm about a good acai bowl.
Okay.
So much so that the Reisterstown Festival is coming up in a month. And there was an acai truck that was there last year that I might go to the festival just to go to the truck.
What's this festival like? What happens?
So they have a parade that my dad is always in because he's a dum-dum.
Like, does he dress up as something?
He dresses up as Santa. He goes in the end of the parade.
Okay,
oh my God.
okay.
Anyway, so my dad is Santa. Yes, the golden retrievers will be there. And then people line up the streets of Reisterstown and they give out candy and they give out, koozies and all the things on the parade. And then at the end of the parade, it ends at the park. And there at the park, they have like bands and they have caterers and they have artists and artisans and people giving away stuff. And of course, there's a couple real estate companies, we do not do it, that are out there trying to give things away to get people's contact information and solicit them for their equity in their home. But there's also this one acai food truck and they're like heavy about it. And I'm not really about it.
Maybe you should volunteer there and then you can make a relationship with them and they come to our client appreciation party and then you can get business for real estate there. Boom.
The acai bowl?
What?
The acai bowl truck or the people that go there?
Everybody.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we could start doing venues like that, but it's just not my
I'm just going to Frank Oliver food truck.
Frank Oliver food truck. What would you put on your Frank Oliver food truck?
Fucking everything bagel, some Taylor ham, bacon.
You know what it would be if it was really like the Frank Oliver food truck? It would be a collective of all kinds of ingredients that don't go together.
But that's like my favorite.
It'd be like tacos and fried chicken and breakfast sandwiches.
That's my favorite, dude.
I don't want this. Why am I here?
Right.
When I make food, it's like...
We have something for everyone. Only one thing, but something for everyone.
When I make food, I feel like I just like whatever's in the fridge or the pantry. I'm like, oh, this sounds like pretty good. And
I disagree. Every time I go in your fridge, there's something that's bad.
No. You're not wrong.
Christian, why are you standing?
Because I thought we were almost over and Michael's about to hit the button.
We're just going to play the music. All right, fine. We will check out here. It's been a minute. A fun adventure of podcasting today. If you guys have any questions, please email live, L-I-V, not live, L-I-V-E, live, L-I-V, at frankoliverco.com. Bring up your questions, your thoughts, and ideas. We're getting some good ones as of late. And you can always reach us on Instagram at michael.frank___ or on our website at frankoliverco.com.
Check me out on Instagram, Christian the Deadhead, and we'll leave it at that.
What's up, guys? Thanks for watching. For more information on the housing market, Real Estate 101, how you can leverage your position in today's market, and so much more, click on the link below. If you like this video or have a burning real estate question you'd like us to answer, leave us a comment and let us know. Don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss an episode, and we'll see you again real soon.